Every time I have to walk past this area, and it always come to mind. I always think about it.
Just a lot of stuff, it just becomes intertwined after 2 years.
First tonight, it's been 2 years since tragedy struck Portland's Hollywood Transit Station. 3 men were stabbed, 2 lost their lives, standing up for 2 girls who police said were being racially harassed by a man on the MAX train. Tonight, TriMet is standing with the families of the victims, remembering their lives and honoring the survivors at the memorial wall at the transit station. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maggie Vespa, and tonight we're looking back at that tragic day as those involved look toward the future. KGW's Catherine Cook joins us live from that memorial at the Hollywood Transit Center. Catherine?
Maggie, a lot has changed here at the Hollywood Transit Station in the last 2 years. Most noticeably, of course, how it looks. You can see the beautiful bright colors in the tribute that has been left here. Also the messages and the flowers that are being brought. But when it comes to how people feel when they come here, a lot of emotions have stayed the same. Pain and suffering have a way of making time stand still.
I feel like just yesterday, I didn't know it was 2 years.
2 years have passed since the deadly stabbing attack on a MAX train here at the Hollywood Transit Station. 2 men, Ricky Best and Talisha Namkai Meche, were killed. A third man, Micah Fletcher, was severely injured. All 3 men stood up for 2 young girls targeted during a racist verbal assault. Jeremy Christian is accused of killing the men.
Every time I have to walk past this area, and it always come to mind. I always think about it. And I'm happy that the people that did survive, that's still here with us.
Survivors like Micah Fletcher.
It's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be 2 years later.
By phone, Micah's mother, Margie, told us some things have made healing nearly impossible. For one, Christian's trial is now scheduled to start in January.
And the fact that this trial is just dragging on, and now we have to wait another entire year. And who knows, we might have to wait longer. And as long as that guy is still in the court system and it's not done, well, it's not done.
Other things are complete, like this colorful mural. It's transformed the Hollywood Transit Station and brought healing to many who use it.
There was garbage everywhere, but it's so sad that it had to take this tragedy for them to clean up this area and make it nice. I don't mind coming over here now.
A place where, even though time seems to stand still, there is the hope of moving on. Back live, TriMet issued a statement today that read in part, "Our hearts are with those touched by the tragic events of May 26, 2017, not only on the anniversary of the deadly attacks, but every day." Maggie, back to you.
All right, Catherine Cook live for us tonight. Catherine, thank you very much. And in that story, you just heard Micah Fletcher's mom talking about Jeremy Christian's case. Earlier this month, his trial was delayed until January of 2020. His defense team told the judge it needed more time to prepare for the trial, which was supposed to start next month. They also want to wait for potential changes to death penalty sentencing laws, which are currently being debated by lawmakers. His lawyers also tried to get the trial moved out of Multnomah County, but the judge denied that. And just this week, the family of one of the victims, one of those 2 men killed, Talisha Namkai Meche, filed a $10 million wrongful death lawsuit against TriMet and Portland police. They claim police and TriMet were aware of Christian's allegedly violent history and did not intervene when they had a chance. Well, moving on tonight, we want to get to a traffic alert for you in Southwest Washington. A crash has shut down both directions of SR 503 north of Battleground. This is at Potter Road near Louisville Park. No word on any injuries. Obviously good news there, and we are working to get more details. We'll bring them to you as they come. And at the same time, we just got some new info on that shooting that we had as breaking news last night. We've learned the person shot was killed, and police just released his name. They identified him as 18-year-old Lorenzo Gordon. This photo came from his family. They've been asking for privacy. We're told Gordon died in the parking lot of the Spring Tree apartment complex along Southeast 162nd. Neighbors there were in shock.
I've heard, a lot of people say that there's a lot of crime in this area, which doesn't surprise me. but it's like overall, I haven't felt really bad about it.
Police don't know who killed Gordon or why. No word on any suspect descriptions, and we'll bring you updates in this case as they come in as well. And then at the same time, investigators are working on another shooting at another apartment complex in Southeast Portland. This one came in around 4 this morning. Someone reporting shots fired at the Wamai Terrace Apartments on Southeast 111th Avenue. We're told one person was shot but should survive. And then a short time later, more reports of gunshots just a few blocks away. Police found 2 cars there with bullet holes in them at 105th and Pine. We don't know if these 2 shootings are related. Police still investigating that, among other things. No word on any arrests at this point. A police officer, speaking of, is home recovering after investigators say he was hit by a drunk driver, and they say that points to a disturbing pattern. This crash overnight near Southeast 124th and Powell marks the 3rd time a Portland police officer has been injured by an impaired driver just this week. This time, officers had responded to reports of a fight, possibly involving someone with a gun. Turned out that wasn't true, but as this one officer was getting back into his squad car, one of several with flashing lights nearby, police say Carlos Zamora, obviously seen here, came speeding down Powell, hitting the officer with his rear view mirror. That officer, thankfully, is going to be okay, but police are beyond frustrated.
It's just not worth it. In this case, we have an injured officer and a driver in jail, but we just don't want something else to happen that will make it even worse.
The other 2 officers were hurt just last Sunday. Police said at that point an impaired driver crashed into their patrol car, pushing it into them. The officers were responding to a report of an assault on Southeast McLaughlin Boulevard near Tacoma Street. They both went to the hospital. They should also be okay. Well, check out these photos of a trailer fire on Highway 101 near Cannon Beach last night. Thankfully, no one was inside when that happened, and firefighters put it out before it spread to any trees. They say it was a derelict trailer that had been left at the Silver Point Scenic Area weeks ago. No word on how it caught fire. Well, Memorial Day traffic already causing its usual headaches tonight. A crash shut down all southbound lanes on I-205 earlier. No word on any injuries in that crash, thankfully. This happened around 1 p.m. at the Powell Boulevard intersection, and crews got the freeway back open pretty quickly. And speaking of the holiday weekend, for those trying to enjoy the outdoors, obviously Mother Nature bringing some good news. The gray, dreary skies that we saw yesterday are gone. The sun is finally out. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri, way more popular today than he was yesterday. Just kidding. But Joe, it sounds like
there's a little truth to that.
Oh, no, you know what? Honestly, we love you either way.
Oh,
but
that's sweet to say. Thank
we're hoping
you.
It'll stick around, though.
It is, and I told you the second part of the holiday weekend is going to be pretty nice, and here's evidence of that. Over in Cannon Beach, this place looks packed with people enjoying all that sunshine along the Oregon coast. Temperatures over there are in the upper 50s. It's going to be somewhat mild over there heading into tomorrow as well. And as we come inland a little bit, 74 degrees, not far from the high I was forecasting of 75 degrees. There's a chance we could get there, but you can kind of look toward the east. We see some dark thunderheads out there, and that's the other thing I'm tracking, some thunderstorms throughout the central and eastern side of the state. And there's a good shot of seeing those thunderstorms rolling in over the foothills of the mountains and into the metro area throughout the later part of the evening hours. Now, this is over in the Dalles. You can barely make out the base of Mount Hood. And speaking of the Dalles and through parts of eastern Oregon and eastern Washington, yeah, that is the area that's going to be seeing a good amount of thunderstorms and lightning strikes here the last couple of hours already. I've been looking at some updated models that show pretty active over on the east side of the state. So the weather headlines: Mountain and Valley thunderstorms tonight and into tomorrow afternoon as well. The good news is we'll be seeing sunny and pleasant conditions heading into a good part of your shortened work week. I'll have the details on that, Maggie, coming up.
All right, Joe, sounds good. Thank you. We'll see you soon. Well, now to a frustrating story for veterans on this Memorial Day weekend. In Eugene, someone vandalized the headquarters for American Legion Post 83. This is images that we just got in of the damage, and whoever did this, you can see, tore down handrails and bricks right by the entrance. The flagpole also has a chip in it. Police say this happened sometime yesterday morning, right before the organization's Memorial Day fundraiser to benefit veterans. That building is on the National Registry of Historic Places, and police are hoping someone comes forward with info on who did this. This Memorial Day weekend, all year round, a Northwest airline is making sure fallen service members are cared for on their trips to their final resting places. Alaska Airlines follows special protocols and uses custom equipment for fallen veterans and their families. Sergeant Major James Woods, who fought in Vietnam and retired in Washington, died in April. He asked to be buried at Arlington National Cemetery, so Alaska Airlines made special accommodations for his final flight.
He wanted to be buried in Arlington, and as the recipient of the Silver Star, he was more than eligible to be buried in Arlington.
Alaska started their Fallen Soldiers program in 2011 after airline employees raised concerns that fallen service members were being treated more like cargo. Now, a brigade of both employees and volunteers mobilized to help with that final journey. Well, an 8th person has been infected with the measles as part of an outbreak in western Washington, and this time that person is a 6-month-old baby girl. Health officials say that little girl got the disease from someone in her household in the Seattle area. The outbreak started earlier this month and even shut down a school. It comes after more than 70 people were infected in an outbreak in southwest Washington earlier this year.